So we've covered that you have PCOS and that you have endometriosis.
Yeah.
When did you get diagnosed with the both?
So I went to the doctors when I first got my period, and I think I actually got my first period when I was 11.
Really?
Yeah, so it was early on.
Early, yeah.
And I used to get excruciating pain. I used to bleed a lot. I used to pass out. I only had 1 week of the month.
1 month of the year.
Yeah, no, one week of the month where I was normal, in the sense of I had no pain at all, and I had no mood swings, like nothing. And the doctor basically said to me, he was a male doctor, and he said, you'll grow out of it. I didn't grow out of it. It got worse and worse and worse as I got older. And so, long story short, I started putting on weight when, this was, what we are now, 2025, this was probably about 2023. And into 2022, 2023, I was putting on weight. And obviously, being an influencer, I was taking pictures all the time. I could see it. And it was really, really, really affecting me, because I've always been someone that's curvy, but I've always been slim. And I couldn't understand why I was putting on weight, because I didn't used to eat a lot. It's not like I had a really bad diet, so I didn't understand. Long story short, I went to the doctors and I said, I think I've got PCOS, because I had every single symptom you could think of.
When did you go to doctors?
2023.
So 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Okay.
So I went to the doctors. I had a really good doctor at the time. She was a woman doctor, and I basically said, my periods are horrific. I have every single symptom that you could possibly think of for PCOS. What do I do?
What were your symptoms?
I had heavy periods, really bad pain, anxiety, depression, facial hair where it shouldn't be growing. I had weight gain, but unexplained weight gain.
Yeah.
I was fatigued constantly. Like, I mean, it didn't matter how much sleep I had, I was fatigued. All of these symptoms correlate to PCOS.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctors, and they look for 3 things: either that you've got a cyst on your ovary, your blood test, or your symptoms. Now, I only had symptoms. They said my labs were fine,
You had no
which
cysts
when
on
I
your
went
ovaries.
to, and I had no cysts on my ovaries, whereas when I went to a holistic doctor, she said, no, your labs are not fine.
Yeah.
Which kind of says it all.
Yeah.
So technically the doctors didn't diagnose me with PCOS. They did an internal scan to see if basically the first scan didn't pick anything up, and they discovered that I had endometrioma, which is endometriosis cyst. So I didn't have a polycystic ovary cyst, I had an endometriosis one.
Do you know the difference?
No.
No?
No, I honestly don't.
I'm just curious.
So the thing is when I went to the doctors, I was saying I had one thing, they told me I had the other, and then actually when I went for my final consultation, because what happens is you get diagnosed with endometriosis, and then they say, hey, either have a surgery or go on the pill.
Yeah.
They don't give you any other option. And the worst part is, and to this day it makes my blood boil, is I had a woman doctor give me those 2 options. And I turned around and I said to her, I don't want to stop my period because that's not natural.
And you're literally covering, you're not helping me.
You're not helping me at all, right? And I said, second of all, having the surgery doesn't even guarantee me any results. So you're telling me those are my only 2 options.
And am I right in saying that there was a potential outcome of the surgery?
So they said it will either get rid of it or it will grow back.
Right.
Oh, so you're not guaranteed a result.
So you could have gone through the surgery and gone through all of that and had nothing. Yeah.
And had nothing.
So in your head, what are you thinking then?
Or she told me to get pregnant. Right? And this is coming from a woman doctor. In my head, I thought, if this was your daughter, would you be giving her the same options? So obviously, as you can imagine, my blood was boiling. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to do my own research into this. So I started researching endometriosis. Sorry, when I went for this checkup, she said to me, because I originally said to her, well, basically they didn't tell me that I had endometriosis until I went to this meeting. So I was going in thinking, okay, they're telling me that I've got PCOS. So when I went in, first of all, I was blindsided.
Did you already know that you had PCOS?
No, this was in the checkups that they did for PCOS.
Right. Okay.
And so when I went, I didn't know that they were telling me that I had endo, because in my head I thought they're going to tell me that I've got PCOS. And she said to me, you don't have PCOS because you don't quite hit our criteria, but they do overlap, so you most likely have it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Which was wild. But then when I did more research into endometriosis, because I didn't know anything about it, they just tell you that you have really bad periods or it affects your fertility. But really, you have so many other symptoms.
Yeah.
So many other symptoms. And I mean, I went to the doctors when I was probably about 14, because I used to get really, really, really severe dead legs to the point where I couldn't walk.
Right.
They were horrific. They were like bricks were attached to my legs. I had no feeling in them. You could have literally fly kicked me and I wouldn't have felt it.
Really?
It was terrible. And I went to see a specialist. And bearing in mind, at the same time, I'd gone to the doctors with really, really bad migraines. And so I've gone to the doctors for bad periods, migraines, and numbness in my legs. Nobody
connected the
dots. The specialist told me that I have migraine tendencies and my legs numbness is a neurological problem. Whereas when I was researching endo, and I mean, it didn't take a scientist to work this out, that's a symptom of endometriosis. So why did no one connect the dots? And I would have been diagnosed when I was younger.
To connect the dots for yourself.
Exactly.
I think it is everyone's responsibility. Like, truly, it is everyone's responsibility to do their own research on their own
diagnosis.
Yeah, not even diagnosis, but their own experiences.
100%, because also,
how are you going to a specialist?
Yeah.
A doctor who's
and they're not telling you it.
Who is paid by the NHS, by the way, paid by taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that. But we're literally paying them to help diagnose us and help us come up with a solution. The only two solutions they gave you were absolute bullshit anyway.
100%.
But the fact that you had to connect the dots for yourself, it's like, the reason why it's so frustrating, I think, is because this isn't, and I'm sure everybody can relate, this isn't the first time you hear a story like this. In fact, I think everybody has had a bad experience with a doctor.
It takes 10 years to get diagnosed with endo.
Oh my goodness.
Which is crazy.
That was your situation.
But it's mad. And the thing is when I was actually looking at other people online that had endometriosis, we had a lot of the same symptoms. But again, they were ignored.
Yeah.
The leg pain was ignored.
That is crazy. Well, at least now you're talking about your story. So, if other women are experiencing similar things, thinking that there's no correlation, I think that, your body's literally fighting itself when you go through a hormonal imbalance or a situation where, there's a foreign body, your body's not operating the way that it should be.
But also, it's not even that. If you know something's off with your body, go get it checked, because you know your body better than anyone else.
Yeah.
If you had an unexplained pain and I sat there and said, oh no, it's so-and-so, no, you know your body, you know that's not your normal. So go do your research. And if the doctors close the door on you, go somewhere else, keep knocking, because at the same time, how many times do you hear about someone's been misdiagnosed or they've been ignored and 100%. Then something worse has happened?
100%.
And I think the NHS is a beautiful thing, and it's one of the reasons why I wouldn't move country. However, there's a line of listen to your patients at the same time. If something's 100%. Not right, it's not right.
You would think they would learn their lesson from now, but they haven't. So that obviously affected your weight gain.
Oh, massively.
Came from, but when did you start to feel self-conscious? You mentioned you were noticing it when you were in your influencer era, taking photos of yourself, and you were picking up on it. And do you know what's really interesting is I spoke about this on the podcast that I just before this, so it will be out when this goes out, so go watch it. But the topic is literally about one of my clients who, it's actually really sad, because she reached out to me and I decided to do a podcast on that topic, because I was like, oh my god, this is her experience, and the amount of women that probably feel like this. After her engagement, she reached out to me and was like, I want to lose some weight for my wedding, I want to feel good, this and that. 8 weeks later, messages me like, I feel less confident now than I did before I got engaged, before I lost the weight, before any of this. Even though we've changed her habits completely, like her lifestyle is changing, like we're still only 8 weeks in, so it's still very early days. She's losing weight, she's being more consistent in the gym, like she knows that she's changing, but she feels less confident. It was such a sad moment, because like my job is to help women feel more confident, but what she realized is that she was happy before the pressure of
you should look a certain
way. And it was like, now she was looking at pictures now she's looking at pictures of herself, picking herself apart. We're working through it. Like, this is now more than just a weight loss journey for her. Like, we're completely stripping it back now, and we're going back to like what made you feel most confident back then. Like, let's redefine your why, because clearly weight loss is not it. Like, the more weight you lose is not going to help you feel more confident, so let's strip it back now and actually go back to basics. But yeah, like the amount of women that probably do feel that pressure is immense. Like, when you then look at pictures of yourself and start questioning. I want to talk about your like influencer journey and then like your weight gain through PCOS, but I also want to, like, you're engaged now.
I am.
You're engaged now, and we've been through a journey together. You've lost like almost 10 kilograms since when we started taking your diet seriously and, you know, increasing your exercise and stuff. But do you feel the bridal pressure now? Is it starting to creep up, or has it crept up in any way?
I think in terms of wanting to look my best, you always have that pressure of you get this one day. Like, if you wake up on that day and you feel shit, your day's ruined. So I think in terms of that, because you want to do whatever you can to feel good, but by the same token, do I feel pressured to maybe look a certain way? No, I don't feel like I have to tick a criteria. Like, I'm not having a makeup artist. I'm not.
That's something we just spoke about.
Yeah. And to other people that might be insane, but I want to look like me. I want to feel comfortable.
But also, like, you're good at makeup.
Well, I mean, when I look back at my sister's weddings and we had makeup artists, I don't look back at them pictures and see myself.
Okay, that's interesting.
So for me, that's it.
Right.
I want to look back at pictures and see me. And I know that my fiance, he prefers me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, rather than having a makeup look. There's nothing wrong with having like a lot of makeup, especially
you want it to look nice for your pictures.
100% flawless and stuff, we all get that. But yeah, if it completely changes your look from how he sees you every single day, even if you did wear makeup every single day, if it's not you, then
why?
Yeah.
What's the pressure?
But why do you think that you then feel like that? Because do you think other women do it, and there's nothing wrong with it, but do you think they do it because they maybe want to not feel like themselves? They want to feel like that extra?
I think there's two different ways you can look at it, because it could be that you want to look perfect, so you put that trust in someone that's good at what they do,
and does it,
and there's nothing wrong with that. Or it's the fact that it's normal. It's normal and expected. It's a normal thing to have a hairstylist and to have your makeup done.
But then that's also what I've noticed, as now my business solely focuses on helping brides lose weight. The particular client that I was just talking about, she felt like going on a weight loss journey was the norm.
But you don't have to. Who says you have to? Your partner fell in love with you for you, right? Exactly. If you want to lose weight, it should be for you.
Exactly. Which is why, like, although a lot of my brides do come to me for weight loss, because ultimately, like, I'd say 75% of women do feel like if they lost some weight, or if they worked on their fitness to help them look to help them look better, their confidence would increase.
Yeah, I get that.
But then it comes back to, well, then what's the goal? Because it's not weight loss, it's confidence.
Oh, 100%. So
then that's why you really have to think about, it's not about doing these things and ticking the boxes, like having a makeup artist and having a hairstylist and having a personal trainer to help you lose weight.
Feel.
It's like, what's going to make you feel confident? Do those things. Don't give in to those pressures. So you're not having a makeup artist, so you're having a hairstylist.
I honestly think I'm just going to go get a blow dry at a salon.
Yeah, but then
it's just easy, right?
Then that's basically like, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So, hairstylist, yes. Makeup artist, no. you're not feeling the pressure to lose weight, but I know we've spoken about, you know, getting your habits in check and like putting you on a bit of a strict, like you want to start lifting weights and stuff, you want to start getting back, or you want to get into a good routine of it, because I guess people don't know what your journey has been through exercise and nutrition. So let's go back to the start.
Oh God.
The start being when we first spoke about you joining the program. So I reached out to Kira on Instagram. We went to school together, so I knew her briefly. Knew that she was going through, like, you had probably posted, I can't remember exactly, but you'd probably posted that you were like on your health and wellness journey and stuff. And yeah, I reached out to you and to see if you wanted to collab, see if you wanted to come onto my program. I was still quite new then. I guess I hadn't transitioned the business yet to the bridal coach, and I just wanted more testimonials. Like, at the start of business, you just have to prove to people that you can actually
help.
Yeah, that you can help and that you can make a difference. So it was literally that, and then from there the rest is history, really, with our friendship.
Yeah, 100%.
It was strange, isn't it? But you also said you was gonna reach out to me anyway.
So I remember you was on holiday and you was doing yoga.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, Hope, post what you're actually doing, like, not just doing it, like, tell me what to do so I can copy it.
I'm posting pictures like doing yoga this morning. You were like,
I think you was on holiday or something, and you was doing yoga.
That's when I reached out.
But
to
like, you weren't saying like, okay, you do this pose and then like transition into this pose. It was just you free flowing. Okay. So as someone that's new to it, I wouldn't know how to copy that.
Honey, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just flowing. I was just going with the flow. Tell me what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
But to someone that was new to like exercise and things like that, I was just stalking you basically.
Yeah, so you wanted to get into fitness, and you knew that you like, what was it? What made you want to?
I wanted to lose weight.
Right. Okay.
That was it, because I was being really affected by how much weight I had put on and that I couldn't lose it. And that's one thing with PCOS, is that it is hard to lose weight because if your PCOS is driven by your insulin, it's to do with your diet, with your food.
It all works with your hormones.
Like your movement, your hormones, like there's so many things that affect it. So for me, it wasn't a case of, well, I need to exercise. I had to change everything. Like my entire lifestyle has changed drastically in the past year.
Yeah, absolutely. In what ways?
So I'm a go to bed at 9 o'clock kind of gal, which I wasn't before. I was a night owl.
Even if you are still sending me TikToks and reels.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. But my body has got so used to it though that I can literally
in bed.
Yeah, but I can literally go out and come 9 o'clock, my body is tired. I'm yawning because I want to go to bed. I might not go to sleep, but for PCOS, your sleep is really, really, really important, and your sleep also sets up your hormones. So for me, it was a case of getting into a routine where my body knows it's wind down time. Even if I don't go to bed till 2 a.m. My body knows it's wind down time. Yeah,
you've done everything that you need to do to get yourself into bed and get yourself ready for sleep.
Yeah, and also like little things like I go for walks a lot. Stress management, that's a huge part.
So exercise-wise, we initially, because I don't think you've touched on this, but you suffered with tremors, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And that was really, really hard because I didn't know what caused them, but also I didn't know how I was ever going to get my strength and my normal mobility back, which was the hardest part.
Yeah, which is also why we had to take it really slow. Do you remember we were literally just focusing on like getting you out for like 10-minute walks at a time? Yeah. And it was a case of you genuinely doing 10 minutes and then having to go sit down. Yeah. Go home. So it has been a case of literally building it up. But even thinking back to it now, like, how far...
I know.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
We don't speak about this a lot, but from a year ago, or maybe it was just over a year, like when you were really struggling with your tremors and stuff.
Probably about 2 years ago.
So, but even in the space of like 24 months, that's nothing in the grand scheme of things. But really, like, you worked your way up, and I think that's what people see your life now and you doing normal mundane things like going for a walk, going to get a coffee.
But I couldn't do that before.
But you couldn't do that before. And it's mad to think that, like, you look at the average person on the street and you don't think anything of it, but you don't know what trials that person has had to go through. So you literally couldn't walk for longer than 10 minutes at a time.
I couldn't brush my teeth at one point. I couldn't hold something. I couldn't walk up the stairs. So, like, literally to think, oh my God, I've lost mobility.
Yeah.
And I've lost strength to the point where my body couldn't even carry its own weight. It was horrifying, because I didn't think I would ever get back to a place where I am now.
Yeah.
So it literally was a case of starting from the bottom and building my way up. And I genuinely had to change my entire lifestyle to get there.
I want to talk about what things you have actually changed. So with working your exercise up, I guess it was more like building the courage up to actually start, because maybe you were scared.
Well, I mean, when we say exercise,
walking.
Yeah, I'm a walker.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a case of being able to walk upstairs, then to walk down the road.
Yeah.
Then to do that and back. So it really, really was a case of like starting slow and then building that up. And I think last year I was definitely in my walking era where I was almost testing my body to see how much it could do.
Yeah.
And I think walking was one of the best ways for me. One, because it's incredible for your body anyway, but it was low impact.
Absolutely.
And that's what you need for PCOS. But also when you're struggling with mobility, it really is the only thing that you can do.
It gave you an opportunity as well to connect back to nature.
Oh, 100%.
And be like,
I love to hug a tree.
And
I do.
I've never seen you hug a tree before.
I go hug trees.
Do you?
Yeah, 100%.
Why have you never invited me to hug trees with you?
I don't know, actually.
I want to hug trees.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. You tell me. You go hugging trees without me.
So you know when you...
I'm mad now.
You know when you walk on a pavement and you see a tree and it's got like really hard like bark around it?
Yeah.
So trees absorb people's negative energy, and the closer a tree is to where people walk past daily and the most people it interacts with, the thicker the bark will be to protect its own energy.
Don't blame it.
So like when we go for a walk at our little place, all the trees on the pavement have thick bark, but if you look further in...
Can we do that next time then? I want to actually go feel the bark.
Yeah, 100%.
And I want to hug some trees.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll do it.
Name a time and place, I'll be there.
Tomorrow.
I'm down.
Done.
I'm really excited now. Okay, so...
Sidetracked.
We go on walks. Your nutrition, though, is probably the main thing that has helped you with your weight loss and manage your hormones.
100%.
And your health. So how has your diet changed? So
my biggest thing was I wouldn't eat breakfast. And not eating breakfast is the worst thing you can do as a woman, because it spikes your cortisol levels, right?
I'm glad you're telling them this, because maybe they might listen to you. Joking. No, my clients are really good with that. But I think most women genuinely don't eat breakfast. Number one, like mothers who are just rushed off their feet in the morning to get their kids. Like, kids are a priority. They're getting their children fed and off to school. And then they come home and then they have time for themselves, or maybe they go to work. So it's like breakfast is probably the hardest meal of the day to get in.
Sometimes I feel like you almost get into that rut of like not being hungry in the morning.
Yeah, for
But then if you're not hungry in the morning, it's because your body knows it's not going to get breakfast.
Absolutely.
So it's a vicious cycle to break, because that's how I was.
Absolutely.
So the easiest way for me to get a breakfast in is a protein shake.
Yeah.
It's quick, it's easy, technically it's not food.
No.
But I get enough protein, and protein is what you need for PCOS.
And you've got to start somewhere, 100%. Two things probably, you've just touched on protein, so I'm going to say it now. Two things that I would say women lack the most. Well, I guess not having breakfast isn't a lack, but it's something that they're not doing.
Yeah, it's
common. Not having breakfast and not getting enough protein in the day. I'm sure there are so many other things, but those two genuinely... When a woman comes onto my program, 9 times out of 10 she's not having breakfast. So I'm telling her, have breakfast. She's like, whoa, but I'm trying to lose weight. I'm like,
but you get into that fear of, but I'm eating more, so I'm like going to put on more weight.
And you have probably seen that when you do eat more and more frequent and more protein is when you feel your best, when you started losing weight.
100%.
And when your hormones started getting in check.
Yep.
which is mad.
It is crazy that sometimes it's the simplest things.
Oh my goodness.
that actually do make a difference.
It to the roof, because like I feel like people just don't give the basics a chance.
I feel like as humans we naturally overcomplicate things.
Naturally.
And I think because we have so much at our fingertips that it's easy to overcomplicate things. Absolutely. But it literally is: eat 3 meals a day, drink your water, exercise, get sunlight, and don't be an arsehole. And life's
that
good.
That last one would be great.
But it's true though, life's good.
It is so true. Like, we're all chasing other things that just do not matter.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to basics, but also like relating it back to weight loss and fitness again, like stop it with the diet teas.
Yeah.
And like, oh my goodness, I know Ozempic is like a big topic right now. I don't even want to get into that, but like there are so many like dupes of Ozempic and weight loss injections right now,
and also
which
you have no idea what they're going to do to your body in the long run.
Oh my goodness, it is nuts. Thankfully I don't hear about it as much from women. Generally, like the main things that women say that they've tried is like Slimming World and Weight Watchers and diet drinks and meal replacements and stuff like that. But they all end up coming to me for a reason, and I have to ask, like, what is that reason?
I also think that they're the most accessible things.
Absolutely.
If you think, like, I remember growing up, Weight Watchers was everywhere.
I went to the gym the other day and there was a Weight Watchers group.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
But then it's almost like thrown into your face of like, well, come join us, you'll lose weight.
Yeah. And then it comes to the pressure of, well, if you're going to lose weight, like what are you going to do then? How are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Well, you can't do it on your own. So who have you got?
Yeah.
Which is why I built this podcast, because like literally go back to basics, and if you can't do that, get someone to hold you accountable to it.
100%.
And I promise you now, in 6 weeks your life will be different. So that's actually a great question. How different, or like what did you see changes in your life, say over the first 6 weeks, if you can even remember, from when you started changing your diet to 6 weeks in? Like, what differences
I remember the first week I lost weight like that.
Really?
I had so much energy. I had cut out sugar.
Me, actually.
I felt on cloud 9. I felt amazing, and I literally thought to myself, why have I not done this before?
So what was you doing?
So for me, I cut out carbs. I did the keto diet because it was almost like a reset that my body needed. I know that doesn't work for everyone.
Though, like, what carbs were you eating before? Pasta?
So I would eat like bread, pasta, rice, pastries, crisps, like basically just normal food.
Yeah.
But it didn't agree with me. And I feel like what I've really worked out is what works for my body and what doesn't. And I think going forward, like, if I could give advice to anyone, it would be to look at what actually makes a difference
100%.
In your diet. Does something trigger you? Do you feel bloated after eating something? Then you know it's not right for you.
Absolutely. I will say though, like, your journey, and we will continue talking about like how that changed for you, but you cut out those things as a lifestyle, but also like you just had a panini, you know, like that's a carb. I'm not outing you.
I know my limit though.
Is me genuine, and that's my point. This is me genuinely saying, because like women come onto my program, again, I go back to this because I've seen it time and time again, where they're like making these changes and they think like, even if we do have to get a little bit stricter, like you did with keto, if we do have to say goodbye to some things that you do actually love, I'm sure you loved carbs. I love carbs.
I love a cake.
But if we have to say goodbye to them for 6 weeks to get your hormones in check and to get you
100%
losing weight and feeling better and get your mental clarity, if you can't do that, then I'm sorry, I can't help you.
But also,
if you're not willing to help yourself,
it's like doing it and then knowing it's not forever.
Absolutely.
But
that was
also,
my point.
you get to a point where you do it and you actually don't want that carb, you don't want that sugar, you don't want that, because it actually makes you feel ill.
It's the same with alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, when people realise, it's funny because like alcohol is such a, like,
it's a taboo topic.
Yeah, it really, really is. But a lot of my clients did drink a lot, and then they come onto the program. It might, like, I obviously explain to them how the calories are going to work and this and that, and we go through a whole journey, a whole process, and I'm like, you are, from a calorie perspective, wasting your calories on alcohol. So if you're hungry, that's on you. But also, you're literally stopping. Alcohol messes with protein synthesis, which...
But also, it affects your hormones.
Absolutely.
And then your hormones are going to affect your weight. So it's a vicious cycle regardless how you look at it.
It really is. And every single time they cut back and they cut down, they genuinely, just like sugar and just like sweets and everything else, they're like, I don't even miss it anymore. Don't know why. I was me. So, honestly, it's crazy. So you cut out carbs, you went keto.
I did that being very strict for, I think, probably, I started it around April last year, and I genuinely think I did it up until Christmas. Have I gone rogue this year? 100%. I went to Rome, I ate pizza, I ate pasta, I got engaged, I just had a panini. But does that mean I'd eat a panini every single day? No. Yeah. Do I know that if my body was not feeling great, I would react to it? Yeah, I would.
And then you'd go back to basics again. It's like,
it's having really, balance. Absolutely. I'm not going to deny myself a piece of cake on someone's birthday, but I would also then not be eating cake every single day.
Absolutely. And balance is earned, people. Like, balance is earned. You can't be preaching, oh, but I want to live a balanced life. You haven't done anything to deserve the balanced life, because you haven't lived a balanced life for the past 5 years.
I don't think it's deserving to live a balanced life. I think it's, you haven't almost made that start to create a shift.
Sacrifice. Okay, my point is, like, if you're coming to lose weight and you're saying, oh yeah, but I still want balance,
you can have that, but in 6 weeks when you've done some work.
When we've hit a point where results are coming in, we've, you know, removed some of those bad habits which we both have agreed upon, and we've replaced them with good ones, then yeah, let's put some balance in.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's like, I do have quite a, like, stern mindset when it comes to deserving, because, like, if you're coming to me for a reason, you're coming to me because you're unhappy, I have to flip it around on them, and I have to make them take responsibility for it.
But you do, though, because they're not being force-fed. No one's telling them to eat it.
But that's where it comes from.
You want to eat it, but you want results. Exactly. So which one's more important right now?
And it's like, whichever one you choose is fine, but take responsibility for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, don't be sitting there crying every check-in when you're not seeing weight loss.
Yeah.
If you're not doing everything I've told you to do.
But then also saying that, when I first joined your program, I didn't lose weight.
No.
And my weight genuinely stayed the same. Yeah. And I remember we were both like, PCOS, what is going on?
We didn't know you had PCOS and endo.
No, we didn't. But then also, it was only going down that route and making changes did I see a change in my weight.
And I will say that taught me a lot. Like, you, again, that was like well over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You taught me a lot. You were like a case
study.
I
was a guinea pig, let's be honest. I was literally a guinea pig.
You literally were, but you've taught me so much now. And as a personal trainer who, like, I was already qualified before you, but it's, again, interesting how I was qualified to help people lose weight, but they never taught you about PCOS and endometriosis. But
it's real life, isn't it? Real life teaches you.
But it's like, if I'm going to be working solely with women, and a large group of women suffer with at least some sort of hormonal imbalance, I need to know that. And thankfully, you taught me that. So,
you're welcome.
Yeah, you've helped a lot. Thank you. And I helped you lose weight.
You did.
I mean, you got to take a lot of credit for that as well, though, because you dug a lot.
Yeah, I did
figure out a lot, and then again, take responsibility. You were the one that was feeding yourself. You was the one that was taking yourself up for
and walks. I will still feed myself cake tomorrow if I had to, but I can, because I'd probably had a salad for lunch.
So you've kept the weight off?
I have.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think also stress plays a huge part, because I think until you manage your stress levels, you will either binge eat or you won't eat. And my issue is I won't eat, and then when I do eat, I eat all the wrong stuff.
Let's talk about stress in this current era of your life, fiancé era.
Oh God,
how's that been?
Stressful.
Really? In what way?
I think weddings bring out the best in people and the worst in people. Let's just say that. I think it is something that's so sacred, and I think weddings hold so much weight and so much power.
Absolutely.
But does it make you see that you and your partner or maybe your families are different, or the way that people are raised, or the expectations that people have? Yeah, 100%. Because everyone grows up with an idea, or maybe not everyone does, because to be honest, I didn't. I was never that girl that envisioned myself getting married.
But I think it changes.
Right? Like, when I met my partner, he was the first guy that I thought, oh yeah, I could marry him.
Yeah.
And I am marrying him.
Yeah.
But I think everyone kind of knows what they want and what they don't want. But you realise that this isn't your birthday.
But then do they know what they want and what they don't want?
But this is also the other thing. You're going through all the motions of, well, I've always envisioned this, or I always thought I would have this, or, you know, my mum wants this and my sister wants this and my dog wants this. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of pressure in the sense of what is expected through society, but also family, but also for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I've never wanted a big wedding. I've always wanted something small. My partner is a Leo. He loves being centre of attention.
What are you again?
A Scorpio.
So how are you different?
I'm water, he's fire. That says it all. I'm calm and collected, and he's a hothead.
So you put him out?
Yeah.
That's so funny. I don't know about this stuff. So wait, what? Just quickly.
Okay, so typically Leos like to be centre of attention. They love being loud. They're bubbly. Him to a T.
So wait, when is a Leo? Like what?
Leo's August. Well, July, August.
What's April?
What part of April?
I'm testing her now.
What part of April?
Start. April Fool's Day.
January, February, March. Aries?
Aries? What are they?
Fire.
Fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's at Aries? Joe?
Mm.
And what? You're a Capricorn?
Yeah, what's that?
You're...
So what is it? Just the two, fire, water? Oh,
no, so you have air, fire, water, earth. I don't know what Capricorn is, actually.
So you're a fraud, then?
I'm not an astrologer.
What are you?
A crystal healer.
Okay. I didn't know there was a difference. Joking. You're very spiritual.
Long story short,
I need to figure out what I am so that I know.
You're a Capricorn.
Yeah, I know that. But am I Earth? Or am
Google it.
I'm going to Google it now because I need to know. What do I Google? If you want to know what you are, you just have to Google...
My star sign. Just type in what element is Capricorn.
What element is Cap? Final guesses?
I want to say Earth. Yeah, I thought
she knows
so.
Her shit. Yeah. You're smart.
So, my partner, he's a Leo.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't mind being centre of attention, whereas I don't like it. So, where I've always envisioned something small, you've got to compromise. And, like, the event itself can give you anxiety because it's something that you don't want, or it's something that you didn't think you'd have, or... You know, you're just a nervous person. I'm sure everyone wakes up and is nervous on their wedding day.
100%.
But I think with weddings, you have the stresses of what, you know, things going wrong. Like, all of these things that people don't think about, they all play a part.
Like, what are the differences between what you want and what he wants? You said he wants...
Well, he wants what I want. Let's be honest.
He does now.
He does now. No, I'm joking. He does want something intimate, but don't get me wrong, the guy's got like 300 friends, so have I had to cut that list down? Sorry guys. I have.
Why is this a girl and a guy thing?
Yeah, it must be. Small
You're
circle
one of
when
3
his
friends that I have.
Huge.
I would say he could, like, literally, again, 300 people. It's crazy. I don't get it. I don't have the time or the energy.
I don't want to talk to that many people.
No, me neither.
But I do think, I think there's always a pressure when it comes to planning a wedding.
Families as well.
I think it depends, you know.
Yeah, of course. Some families are chill. Some families like, you do you.
Like,
I'm just gonna tag
me
along.
and my partner, we're not traditional. We're not doing a traditional wedding at all. And our parents are all okay with that.
Fine with it, yeah.
Whereas could I imagine that not being the case with other families?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So I think families in general and weddings in general, there's always going to be something.
It's true. So what are your wedding plans?
Well, we've got an engagement party this year, and then we're going to do a civil potentially next year.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Acting like I don't already know this.
Yeah, I mean, you knew that.
I did.
You're doing a speech, you knew that.
Oh my goodness, I'm scared. Stop! Don't remind me. You only asked me that yesterday.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you today on
Have
the
you
podcast.
started writing it?
No, I was going to ask you today, so I got your reaction, but I was too excited to ask you.
Oh my god.
So I just asked you yesterday.
Oh my god, no, did you see my tears?
Yeah, I did. I was like, this girl's going to cry again.
I started tearing up. I'm a really emotional person.
I know.
I cry.
You must have
really
a water
easily.
sign in your birth chart somewhere.
I was born in water, did you know that?
Was you?
Yeah, Mama had a water birth with me.
Really?
Yeah, Christmas Day baby as well. That must mean something.
I don't know what that means spiritually.
Or can you figure it out?
I'll get back to you.
Can you? Please do.
Let me have a think.
But yeah, I'm Earth sign. Earth symbol? What does it mean?
You're a Capricorn.
Yeah, but I'm an Earth.
Yeah, you're an Earth element.
Element, that's it.
So you're quite grounding, which you are, apart from the ADHD.
I don't have that.
I think this podcast and every single topic shows that you have that.
Okay, moving on. So yeah, we've got the engagement party coming up end of this year. Or like, not end of this year.
October.
Yeah, that's exciting. Honestly, I cannot wait. But I'm now nervous that I have to do a speech. What are your plans for that though? Like, with everything? Tell me your plans. Have you got everything?
No, nothing.
Yeah, do you know, as I'm saying it,
you already know. You literally already know.
Okay, question then. How's it been then? How's it been planning even just the engagement party?
Stressful.
Yeah.
I think everyone that I've spoken to has actually said that planning their wedding or like wedding events has been the worst time of their life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I get
and
that
I
as
feel
well.
like you always think it would be so exciting, but like I said, it's one day and it's one huge day. You want
so
everything
much
to be
pressure.
perfect, so you do automatically have that pressure of it needs to be perfect.
One of my clients is actually getting married today. I haven't heard. I messaged her obviously first thing this morning. How she hasn't got back to me, and then another client got married, I think last weekend, and I messaged her in the morning. She actually got back to me and she was like, "Hope I can't wait for this day to be over."
Really?
Yeah. It was like
See, I don't
9
want to
a.m.
wake up on my bed and
No,
like
we
that.
then had a call afterwards, and because she's staying on for another 6 months. We did 6 months together. She's staying on. She just wants to take it, further. And I was like, obviously, tell me everything. How was it? She was like, no, it was amazing. Like, it was brilliant. But I'm just so glad that it's over. And that's wild. Like, your money, your time, your effort, your day, and it's 9 a.m. and you want it to be over.
But also, when the day comes, you blink and it's done.
You blink and it's done. Yeah, literally. She put a message in the group chat today and was like, to this other client who's getting married today, was like, take every moment in. Like, just be present the whole time. And it's hilarious because when I got on a call with her last weekend, she's like, I hope I don't remember it all. I was too drunk. I was like, I don't know whether to be happy or sad.
I couldn't think of anything worse, not remembering your wedding day.
Yeah, well, let's see how those cocktails go down at your engagement party.
I had one the other day.
Did you?
I had my first drink in over a year. I didn't even finish the cocktail when I was drunk.
It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
We're going to need to, like,
build my
alcohol, guys.
Build my tolerance.
We don't drink very often. I genuinely do. I probably drink, I could count on my hands how many times I drink alcohol in a year.
I don't drink. I used to.
Yeah.
But then lifestyle switch. Yeah. I stopped.
Yeah, we're both the same.
And yeah.
We drink coffee. We drink a ton of coffee. But no alcohol. So we need to, like, prepare ourselves. We need to have, like, maybe a couple dinners before your engagement party where, like, we go out. Maybe
on the day.
No,
dinners on the day.
Dinners on the day. No, definitely have some food on the day so that our stomach soaks it up. But no, we need to practice drinking.
Build a tolerance.
Yeah. I'm not sure which way is better, to be honest, to not do that or to do that.
I don't know.
I'm super excited. But have you still got a lot to plan?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest pressure for you that you're facing right now when it comes to your wedding and your engagement and stuff? What do you feel most pressured about? It can be
probably it all coming together, because you speak to so many vendors, you speak to so many suppliers, you have all these little things that all then fit together as a puzzle on the day.
Yeah.
But you don't actually get to do a trial run beforehand, which I think is the scariest part, because I am someone that is a perfectionist, but also I am going to do something, and if it's not right, I'll do it again. Whereas you don't get to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine on the day I'm like, I hate it, I want to do it again tomorrow. Let's change this, let's change that.
Wait, you can kind of do that, because this is still an engagement party. Like, this is your... I know it's going to be a massive
because
thing.
for this...
Yeah, I know, you're like, going all out.
I'm not going to be able to do it again.
Yeah, you're never going to be able to do your engagement again, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't say no to you hosting in the party. I think it's going to be fun.
I think if it just goes tits up, I'll just have to cry about it after.
Are you going to have any one take? Are you going to have a photographer and stuff there?
Got a photographer, videographer.
Yeah. Videographer. Do you know there's someone that does, like, content creation for weddings now? Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, she's doing it.
She is?
Mm.
Oh, wow. Is she doing it
herself? She said she didn't trust anyone else to do it, so she goes,
I was about to say, because she's your friend, is she not going to be at the wedding as well, like, trying to...
Yeah, I did say to her, like, you know, I want you to be a guest, and she was like, I would not trust anybody else doing this for you. So she was like, I will do it.
I guess she's just going to be the guest that is just filming everything.
Yeah, basically.
Which is funny. Because that's going to be me as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to be filming everything.
And she'll get a close-up of your speech.
No, I was about to say, apart from the speech, no one's filming that. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to say. So, yeah, it's really been a journey with your PCOS, with your weight loss, but you're in a much, like, to look back over the past 2 years, what's been the biggest shift for you with your health?
I want to say my diet. I feel like you can exercise all you want.
Yeah.
But if your diet is not correct, you're not going to see the results that you want, because I didn't realise how much I was eating that didn't have a good impact on my body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, even though I don't do the keto diet anymore, I still know to stay away from certain foods because they just genuinely don't affect me very well.
Yeah.
So, like, I had a panini today, and if I wasn't feeling great in myself, yeah, I probably would have felt really ill after. But because I'm not eating like that all the time, it doesn't really affect me.
And you're in tune with your body now. That's
also the other thing. It's like intuitive eating.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I don't particularly like alcohol. I'm not going to say that I'm never going to drink again, but I don't really like it. I don't really like how it makes me feel. It blocks your intuition. It is literally like negativity in a drink.
Absolutely, yeah.
However, will I drink on my engagement party? Hell yeah, I'm going to enjoy them cocktails I've paid for them.
And this is the thing. It's like, it's not about seeing specific foods and drinks as negative.
As bad.
It's like, what is your relationship with it?
And also, I do think, like, you know, when it does come to drinking alcohol, eat food that's good for your liver beforehand, so your liver's supported. Like, there's different things that you can do to help. And also, I think the main part is you've just got to be in tune with your body. If your body doesn't like something, you don't have to label it, oh, I don't eat dairy.
Yeah.
Or I don't drink.
Yeah.
If you fancy a drink. If you want to eat ice cream, eat ice cream.
And
do you know what I mean? Like,
makes you shit yourself. We don't want that.
Well, no, but as in, I don't eat. You know me. I don't eat milk. Well, I don't eat milk. I don't drink milk. I don't drink milk. I don't eat ice cream. I don't eat yogurt. I don't eat dairy. But do I eat cheese? Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. I love cheese.
But that's the thing. It's about, like, finding what works for you. What way do you feel like has this affected your business, do you think? Like, now that you're more in tune with yourself, like, you're in a better position, you feel better within your skin, you know that you're doing what's right for your body, you're more in tune. Also, like, with your nutrition and your hormones in check, like, clarity of thought and...
Oh, 100%. I feel like when you are not in a good place hormonally, it's very easy to get into a negative mindset. And
I think easy to show up.
But also, I think you don't actually realise how much that blocks your intuition. And I think making all these changes has helped my intuition massively.
Yeah.
And that's what my business runs off. It runs off me. It runs off my intuition. There's not anything that I've done in my business that doesn't come from me. Like, I do everything because I don't trust anyone else.
You wear the hats.
I do.
Same, sister. I know how that feels. And I want you to, like, touch on what you do within your business as well, because your business helps people in more ways than one. Like, I know the stories and the testimonials that have come from your business. Like, how do you help people in your business?
So often my customers, my clients will message me and they'll say, I feel like this, or I want a crystal to help me and support me with this, and I'll always offer them intuitive guidance. I don't ever recommend something based on the fact that it's known to help this. There is no generic answer. It will be tailored to each customer. And I had this one lady, and I know she won't mind me sharing her story, but she messaged me and asked me for some intuitive guidance. And I felt that she needed black tourmaline. Now, black tourmaline is a protective crystal. It's known to shield you from negative energy, but also prevent you from absorbing energy that's not yours. So if you're a highly sensitive person, or what is known as an empath, you're often a sponge for people's emotions and their energy. And that can often lead to you feeling drained or anxious and depressed, not knowing why. Sometimes you can even have like a stomach ache if someone close to you's got a stomach ache. Like, it's wild. So anyway, I felt this was the crystals that she needed. So she bought the bracelet from me, and I didn't hear from her. And then a few months later, she messaged me and she said that her brother was in the
ICU?
Yeah, that was it. Her brother was in the ICU, and he basically was
critical.
Yeah, and they basically said, say your final goodbyes. And obviously, as you can imagine, that was a really tough situation. And she said that she was sat with him and she just felt called to place her black tourmaline on him. And she said she took a while to message me because what happened was incredible. Her brother recovered.
Oh my God.
And they went from say your final goodbyes to he is recovering.
Oh my God.
And she said she waited to tell me because she didn't want, obviously, to jinx anything. But he was then out of hospital. And I think in that moment, when I read her message, I was genuinely crying, because in that moment I felt, wow, I actually do help people. And although I'm not directly helping them, I am showing them a way that they probably didn't know before.
Yeah, you're guiding them for sure.
And that's why, like, with My Sacred Soul, I choose to be a place where people can come and find their answers. I choose to be a place where people can come and they can seek comfort. Or if they're unsure or they don't know how to get started with crystals, or they've got crystals and they don't know how to use them, I am that place that you can go to, and you will always be guided with intuition. There will never be a one-size-fits-all. And I think one of the things that I find the hardest is actually believing that I help people. I think that's the hardest thing to come to terms with, and I think you probably get that with helping your brides
100%.
But it's almost that imposter syndrome. But that's one story where it's like a core moment, because I remember feeling like, wow,
that is amazing. And if someone wanted to learn more about what you do, more about crystals and healing in another way, because this isn't really spoken about a lot, like, you're probably shedding light on something and a topic that most people have never heard of before. Where can they go to find you?
At mysacredsoul.co.uk, or on Instagram at mysacredsoul, but with 2 L's.
Amazing. My goodness, I know so many people are going to be having a look at that, honestly. And if you go there, like, it is full of information about crystals and healing and energies, and just how to better yourself if you're looking for another answer, just like you was.
It's all about becoming the best version of yourself, and crystals can definitely help that.
Exactly. And that leads me perfectly on to my last question, which is, if you could, knowing what you know now, if you could speak to your younger self and give her a piece of advice, or tell her how life is going to be over the next 5 years and what's going to help her, what advice would you give her?
I think to just trust in divine timing, and that's not divine timing in the sense of there's a timeline and there's a framework of it's this and then this. It's more about each experience has a domino effect, and it all leads you to where you are now. Like, I truly believe you have to go through things and grow through them to get to the next thing. It's not, by 30 I'll be married and I'll have a house and 3 kids.
It's just trust. Trust that whatever is meant for you is coming.
For sure.
And if it hasn't come to you now, it is coming to you.
It's on its way.
In the perfect time. I totally agree. That's amazing. Well, thank you for coming on this podcast.
Thank you for having me.